All right, so you know we're gonna there's food, there is we're gonna have volleyball games, we got volleyball games. Yeah, you got Superman gave me the note. Yeah, they're gonna be games. We got vendors out there giving away stuff. We got vendors giving away stuff. Yeah, come on and enjoy yourself. You know what? I just want to remind you that this is a celebration. This is a celebration. And one of the things that we are keen on is making sure that people know that recovery from SUD and mental health is worth celebrating. If you're a person in recovery, if you got one day, celebrate your one day. If you got 1 month, celebrate that 1 month. Whatever you have, celebrate. And if you have a family member that's got any length of recovery, celebrate recovery with them. Celebrate their recovery. So that's what we're doing today. We're saying that, hey, recovery doesn't just fall out the sky. People have to go get it. And we're celebrating the people that went and got it for themselves. And so we're acknowledging it. We want you to enjoy the day, and I want you to feel good about what you're doing. If you're a person in recovery, I want you to feel good. You are doing a wonderful thing, and I like to say it like this, you are one of the miracles that's happening right now. Yes, you're one of the miracles that's happening right now. Welcome back, walkers. Look at them making it back. Great job, great job, great job. Feel free to go get food. Feel free to get food. Visit with the resource center and resources. Just feel free to meal around. Help yourself. Help yourself.
I'll go.
We're gonna sit in the front. You guys want to sit? Yeah, well, you know what? That was like the original. Yeah, I mean, the last year it happened before COVID, they shortened it. Like it was real short.
Would you say anywhere?
Quit messing with it. Just leave that all off. Lisa, just sit down and relax. Where's the 9th one?
celebrate. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. Baby, we're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. It's a celebration. Come on and celebrate tonight. 'Cause everything's gonna be alright. Let's celebrate.
All right, awesome. Please continue to visit the vendors, get those resources, a lot of good stuff, goodies being handed out. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Dr. Benjamin A. Jones. I'm the President and Chief Executive for the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence, Greater Detroit area. We're part of the planning partners for this event. There are many planning partners that help us to make this event happen. We will acknowledge them a little bit later. Certainly you see our banner with our sponsors on there. These are the folks that financially support this event, and we are very thankful for all of them. And so we have a brief program, but we think it's going to be impactful, and you're going to enjoy it. And then we're going to have, plenty of time for dancing, volleyball playing games, eating more food. Make sure you eat all the hot dogs. You don't want to carry any of those back with us. So make sure you eat all of that. And just enjoy spending time together. One thing that we want to acknowledge is that this event had to be postponed last year because of the pandemic. And we weren't sure that we'd be able to do it in person this year. But I got to tell you, I am so glad that we are in person and virtual for this event. Yes, that we are in person. I'm glad we can actually see you and talk with you and give you the opportunity to dance and enjoy this event. We're going to do it safely. Everybody's taking various precautions, but we are just going to have a great time today. So we are very thankful that we can even be in person for this 20th anniversary celebration. 20 years that we have done this event. You'll hear more about that in a couple of minutes. I have a proclamation from our governor, the great governor of the state of Michigan, and I'm not going to read the entire proclamation. I'm just going to grab a couple of excerpts from it. In terms of Alcohol and Drug Addiction Recovery Month, whereas substance use disorder is a chronic, often relapsing brain disease that causes compulsive drug seeking and use, despite harmful consequences to the individual and those around them. Substance use disorder is a brain disease that changes the structure function of the brain as a result of drug and alcohol misuse. And it continues, it is, whereas organizations across the state have distributed more than 185,000 doses of naloxone, harm reduction services, promoting pathways to safety and recovery for individuals and community, and whereas a person's treatment and recovery is built on his or her strengths, talents, coping abilities, and resources, it addresses the whole person and their community and is supported by peers, friends, and family members. And whereas during this month, we joined with the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and various to celebrate recovery and raise awareness of recovery-oriented systems of care working to prevent and treat substance use disorder in our state. Now, therefore, I, Gretchen Whitmer, Governor of Michigan, hereby proclaim September 2021 as Alcohol and Drug Addiction and Prevention Month in Michigan. Proclamation for Recovery Month in Michigan. So we're grateful to the governor for that, for recognizing that it is a reality that people can and do recover. People can and do recover, right? Yeah, that's right. We want the whole world to know. And so at this time, I'm just going to, we're going to have an opportunity to hear from one of the co-founders of this event that actually brainstormed and came up with this event over 20 years ago. And he's going to give us a bit of a historical perspective. And I'm standing right by just in case you try to hog all the credit. There's my friend and colleague and cohort that we've worked together over the years on this event. He is now retired, Mr. Randy O'Brien. Come on, Randy.
Everybody.
I got my name. Thank you, man. Ben and I have been working on this event well, over 20 years, practically 21 in the year 2000. This event came out of a federal grant back in 1998. And the Produce Mental Health Services Administration allowed us to, it was actually NCAB Michigan, which is no longer that got the grant. And I gotta give credit to not Ben, yeah, but to Kitty Donahue, who was the director that got secured the grant. And the purpose of the grant was to be able to go around the state and try to establish substance abuse and substance abuse disorder recovery groups around the state. And our goal was to have 11 of them. There weren't any recovery groups back then. There wasn't anybody really speaking on behalf of SUD services. We were dealing with stigma, we were dealing with people that didn't look at us as being people that could recover, and the people that created their own problems. There's a whole lot of other things here. So the whole idea was to try and get out there and to make, educate the community in the state. Legislators, others, general public, to give them an idea of what it is. And that people can, is a big part of it, is that people can. Year after year, that's what it's going to do. Well, what that Ben was referring to is after the first year of the grant, we were looking for ways to try and become more public visibility, be able to get messages out to the public and that. And we were in New Orleans, going to an NCAB national conference. And we were sitting in a bistro in New Orleans, which I don't know how the fuck that was kind of, ironic that we were there working at SUD and sexually about. But we talked about what do we want to do, what can we come up with. We thought about it for a while, talked about it for a while. We ended up coming up, Ben wanted to do a $1 million man march. And I said,
Maybe we could tone it down a little bit and fill up Spartan Stadium. And neither one occurred, but the first one that we had it on the, about 2 weeks after 911 hit. So it was very much a downtime at that point. We were looking at canceling it and what have you, but we were able to have it and we came up with this event. Never thinking that it would be 20 years or more that we would be doing this over and over again. So we really think it's amazing. So anyway, I gotta say this, because you always say this. When Ben's talking, he says that it was his idea to come up with the event. And if I'm talking, I say it was my idea for the event. So we finally came together and said, you know what, it was not just our idea, there was a ton of other people that were involved as well. That's about what we get. I'm not big on credit. The first event that we had was, we had about 700 people show up. And our plenary speakers was Cerise Strawberry, who was Belle Strawberry's baseball player's wife, who talked about what it was like to be a family member of somebody who had an addiction. We also had Jerry Stanicky, who was a former T-Plus player, who was going to be one of the last journalists to talk to Jimmy Hoffa before he disappeared. And thirdly, we had Dr. Martin McIntosh, who was the medical director of the GM, who talked about his recovery as well. So it really was a very strong lineup. Not that many people, so you didn't have to sit through all this stuff. It was, I remember the day was nicer than this. It was sunny, it was warm, and there was just an air of excitement, electricity. Let's still get that. So it's kind of my guys who are retired. This event was considered to be the first public awareness event that was held in Michigan. No one had done that, and it was a huge success. We've had thousands of speakers over the years. We've had thousands of people in recovery and their family that support them over the years. And we've local speakers that are willing to share their story. That's the thing I left out earlier, is that part of our strategy was when we formed these recovery groups was to get people in recovery to tell their stories in public, because that's where the power and that's where people hear you. So we had struggles with that because people said, well, you know, it goes against the principles of AA, or, you know, we're not supposed to talk with people. But I mean, it started, we had about 9 that were going good at Storm Tree, lost their money. There are a lot more. So we made a lot of progress. A couple of other things I just want to say, this event, we can't claim this, but I want to talk about some of the things that have changed and the progress that has been made since that time. You know, we've got recovery awareness events. We have our event. This one is considered to be the state event. Recovery events are also being held all over the state in smaller groups in different regions. And people are also recognizing, so it's getting bigger than it used to be. Advocacy groups have flourished, but they have. And then, regarding our recovery-oriented system of care, substance use network system, major changes in we've got SAP, people that are in recovery, long-term recovery, integrated into the system prior to it. Had very few people in recovery, that sort of thing. Now we've got recovery coaches and peer support that are all over this state.
Yeah, baby!
Tremendous stuff. You know, when I used to be working here, we fought to get people to get treatment, and we we did people go through residential, and then when it came out to go and follow up afterwards, outpatient, they didn't go. I mean, the first year that we had added recovery coaches, 70% of the people went outpatient.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's no small thing.
Oh yeah.
We also have recovery homes. After 5 years ago, we met. So people, you go to treatment, but you couldn't go to long-term recovery, which is a critical piece for a lot of people to get to long-term recovery. We've got that in place now, just about all in the state. And we've got membership on SUDs, CMA, community agency boards that are being able to provide input. And no small thing, this is related to anything, is that the Affordable Care Act was passed in 2014, made a huge difference. Because people, millions of people were now getting medical coverage that they never had before. We opened up all kinds of beds out there that were paying for people who were paying for those kind of things. So, at the same time, you've got the state and the federal government have been, this is good and bad, but back when we started, we were very mostly underfunded when it came to the SBT prevention services. Now, the state and the feds have dumped a ton of money into SBT, and more people are able to access services. The sad side about that is that didn't really start happening until we started having to deal with the opioid crisis. And with the opioid crisis, people have been dying in greater numbers year after year. Last year was a record number in Michigan and a record number in the United States, across the nation. We have to do a better job of educating ourselves about the threats with opioid and also particularly with fentanyl, which is extremely deadly medication that's being used. So we have to be able to, for some reason, people, they know that they have the risk is there, but they're still taking the risk. Okay, so also the feds have done a very good job, and the state has done a very good job with This is my last time on this podium, so they're trying to get me off quicker. Anyways, all right, and I will say that, enjoy your day today, enjoy celebrating your recovery. If you're not quite there yet, look around you and you'll see that you will be, or can be. So thank you very much.
All right, wonderful, Randy. Thank you so much. I want to thank all of you that are really paying attention. These speakers have something to share, and I thank you for giving them your attention and kind of holding it down. We really appreciate that. Let's continue to show them respect as they come up to share with us. One of the things that we want to do right now is just to acknowledge, as many of you know, today is 20 years since the September 11th tragedy that happened in this country. And we felt that it was important for us not to omit that, not to ignore that this day has great significance, not only for us, but for this whole country, and some would say for the whole world. And so what we decided is that, we want to remember them. We want to remember them who lost their lives on this day. But we also want to remember those families that were impacted. And I'm venture to say many of you know that there were people in recovery in those towers or who actually lost their lives as a result of the terrorist action on our home soil. And we want to take just a couple of minutes to acknowledge them We also want to acknowledge those people who have been part of this event over 20 years and who are not with us today. Our good friend Dr. Calvin Trent, who was a mainstay with this event. Dr. Trent was a big supporter of this event. Betty Risher from Nicosa, Macomb County, she was a big supporter. And I do want to acknowledge Connor O'Brien, Randy's son, who's not with us, who was also a regular attendee and a speaker for this event in one of our years. And so, what we want you to know and want you to remember is that those people, they have significance in our lives, and they play a significant part in us moving forward. And there's a song that we want to share as a part of that tribute, and we're going to ask our DJ to share that now. And let us just remember all of those that were lost on this day, made their transition on this day, and all of those who have been impacted, who were in recovery, and many of them that we've lost over the COVID-19. We lost a number of people that were in recovery over this period. Our DJ Renard was that was our guy. He DJ'd this event every year. DJ Renard DJ'd this event, and we miss him. And so we wanted to take this moment to remember all of them.
That's right.
To never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine. That's your way. You always want to stand behind. See, I was the one with all the glory, while you were the one with all the strength.
How you doing, young man?
All the offense without a name. I never once heard you complain. Did you ever know that you my hero? You're everything I would like to be. I could fly higher than an eagle. Yeah. You always been my way. But Daddy, I've got it all right here in my heart. Yes, I can say, I know the truth. I know you know the truth about me. The truth. I would be nothing without you. Did you ever know? All right, let's give some applause for all those people, the acknowledging all of those people who were impacted and those that we remember fondly because of their work in recovery. At this time, we've got a few people in recovery from our various communities that are going to just share with you a little bit about their personal recovery story, and they're just going to share with you their journey. We're talking about the journey today, so they're talking a little bit about their journey, and I'm just going to give you their names, and they'll come up in succession. We're going to start with Mr. Andrew Brown and he's representing Macomb County. Andrew Brown. And Andrew, you brought your cake. Then we also have representing Oakland County. She'll be following him. It'd be Sue Harrington, she's representing all women. She's representing women. So let us receive them in that order. Come on, give them both a shout.
Hello. Okay, I want to do this proper. My name is Andrew Brown. I'm a person in long-term recovery, and what that means for me is I haven't had to use any mind or mood-altering chemicals since August 18th, 2007. I got to make sure I do that slow because I always screw it up when I'm doing the proper way. So, really grateful to be here. Really thankful to Makosa, to Care, for letting me be a part of this again, and everyone at the Celebrate Recovery team. Thank you for having me up here again. I'm just going to share a little bit brief about my story, and then I'll talk a little bit about why I love this event so much. I was a surprise baby, so like my parents weren't expecting any more kids. And then I came out, and my brother is 13 years older than me. And at the time, in 1999, my life kind of changed. My mom passed away from terminal cancer. I was 14. And my brother was already in recovery at this point. He'd gotten into recovery at the age of 21 for having 4 drunk drivings. So he hadn't used any substances. But after my mom passed away, my brother quickly discovered her dilaudid and everything she left behind. So that kind of started the process before I really knew much about opiates. I was smoking pot and stuff like that, but my brother asked me one day, hey, can you find me this stuff called OxyContin? And if anyone remembers, like the early 2000s, it was the Wild West of prescription pills. I mean, they were everywhere. And, I seen heroin as something completely different from prescription drugs. So, long story short, I started using prescription pills. Just using prescription pills. I'm never going to use heroin. One day I can't find them. Someone says I know where to go. I tried it for the first time, I'm just going to snort it. You know, and then you guys all know I don't have to explain it in great detail. You know, I became an IV user, and my life went quickly downhill. From 2005 to 2007, I was in and out of treatment numerous times. And in 2007 especially, thank you to Makosa and the care especially for helping me get into treatment multiple times. I share that because every time I walked in the door at care, no one judged me. You know, even when I had an abscess on my arm and I didn't smell too good, you know, people sat me down in the office, did an assessment with me, and like Randy said a lot, it was a lot different in 2007. You know, their treatment, hey, even for an IV user, you were waiting 4 weeks, you know, and there was no choice of treatment. You went where it opened up, and I was sick and I was dying, you know, inside, and she told me it's going to be about a month before we can get you in somewhere, but call me every day. And, you know, I just remember scrambling to payphones, calling care. And she just kept saying, call me back tomorrow. Call me back tomorrow. And they got me in about 2 weeks later. So thank God for care accepting me multiple times. And I'm actually one of the rare people. You know, I went to jail for the first time for 6 months shortly after that. And rediscovered 12-step programs, rediscovered mutual aid groups, and yeah, you know, I just stuck with it, man. I was scared to go back. So after many failed attempts, something started working. I want to talk about 2012, the first time I came to this event. What's really cool about this is like the OG Multiple Pathways event. You know what I mean? I had no idea about multiple pathways. I was like, abstinence, 12-step, that's it. You know, like all this other crap. You know, it doesn't work. And I won't lie, you know, I thought that way till I started at care in 2014. I didn't see a whole lot of reason to do anything besides my pathway. But I'll tell you what, like over the years and working with people, you know, I've been at care just 7 years. This week is 7 years at care, and it's amazing. You know, it's an amazing experience.
All right!
So thank you. But yeah, I just want to say that before I go, you know, multiple pathways is where it's at, you know. I remember judging people's pathways. I won't lie, I was biased, you know. I thought there was only one way, but man, we're in the life-saving business. You know, it's about preservation of life, and whatever's going to keep someone alive another day, to have another shot, that's what I got to be looking at. So that's just what's really cool about this event. And I didn't even know what multiple pathways meant. And then I thought about it walking up here today. I'm like, wait, this is what this event is, you know. They don't ask me for my 12-step card or what step I'm working when I walk in here, or, you know, who my sponsor is or what my home group is. It's just about coming together to celebrate the good stuff. And that it's possible, man. If someone like me can do it, and I see a lot of faces in the crowd that I know and love, and if these people can do it, you guys can do it. So I'm really grateful to be here. Thanks again for asking me to talk, and that's all.
All right,
That was awesome. So I'm representing the ladies here today, apparently. I hope I have a great message for the guys as well. So I'm so grateful to be here. I'm Sue Harrington. I'm a peer recovery coach, and I work as a peer recovery support specialist at Catholic Charities of Southeast Michigan in Royal Oak. And I want to say hello to all my friends at Catholic Charities, my co-workers and people that I serve. Really wonderful to have you here and at home watching. I also want to mention how it's kind of interesting that I'm here, because not all that long ago, no, seriously, literally, I was really terrified to public speak. And I was sure that there were so many other people that had better things to share than I did. Why would anybody ask me? But you know, when you get asked to do recovery work, what do you say? Yes. We say yes, right? We always say yes. So I find myself standing here in front of you, and hell yes, I have something really important to say. I'm 11 years sober, and I'm a miracle. And I'm looking out here at all the miracles in front of me, and all the miracles in the making, and their families, and it's wonderful, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be here. I really haven't been to this event all that much, and shame on me, because it's amazing, and I'm so glad to be here with you. So wherever you are on your journey, you're welcome here. Celebrate it. And if I'd known how wonderful my journey of recovery was going to be, I would have done it a long time ago. So I've been asked to tell you something about my recovery in just a few minutes. So that's not much time, so I'll jump to it. I have 3 words that are really significant to me at this time in my life. 2 of them I think you probably know. One is change, one is community. But the one you probably haven't heard of yet is Paula. I'm going to tell you about Paula because when I came to my knees 11 years ago and I checked myself into treatment, I was certain that I was the only person that felt the way that I did, right? I was in the tank. I was worthless. I was filled with shame and regret. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? Well, on top of that, I was surrounded by people that had been in treatment in this treatment center numerous times. And it really scared me. And I thought that that was my destiny too. And I shared it with my counselor, whose name I remembered to be Paula. And she said, you know, there's no reason you have to come back here ever. And I perked up and I said, what do you mean? And she challenged me and she said, you know, you don't have to come back. Why can't you be the one that doesn't? Why can't I be the one? And she told me that she had heard those same words from somebody and that's what she had done. She became the one. So Paula's words really hit me powerfully and at just the right moment. And so sometimes timing's everything, right? Was it timing? Was it God's providence? I think it was a lot of both. So thank you, Paula, wherever you are, for sharing those words with me, for sharing your story, for giving me hope. And one day at a time, I have stayed sober for 11 years, 5 months, and 19 days. And I have never counted those before. True story, I haven't. I did it last night. And I thought, wow, that sounds really good. So I want to jump to community for a minute. SAMHSA has an awesome definition of community. It's having relationships and social networks that provide support, friendship, love, and hope. What are we doing here today? Do we have community? Awesome. Right. So when I drank, I was isolated. I drank alone, and it felt really normal to me. I had no understanding or desire to be with people most of the time. In fact, after I got sober, I kind of made a pact with myself to stay anonymous, to stay, keep my recovery on the down low, go about my own business, whatever that might be. I didn't know what that was. Well, that didn't last very long. God had some interesting plans for me, and it involved a lot of change. So one of the critical things I had to change was my attitude toward people. I needed people, right? I needed community. And what a gift it has been. And after that, I started to discover real meaning and purpose in my life. Those words, amazing words, meaning and purpose, that just blew me away. That I just didn't even have a concept or grasp before. So connection through community is critical to my ongoing recovery. And opportunities for community are all around us. It's not just our recovery groups, but it's so much more. And for me, it's been my church community has been a huge anchor in my life. And the doors keep opening. And it allows me to serve others, just more and more all the time. So, number one, thank you, Paula, for being my first welcome into the community of recovery. And don't be afraid of change, because that's when the miracles really happen. That's an old cliche, but it's so true, and I'm a testimony to that. And be ready to share yourself, share your story. Don't be like me and be afraid to come up and share it, because it's kind of fun. And there's someone out there that needs to hear the words that only you can share. So I hope today, my wish for you is that you find community, support, friendship, love, and hope. And that most of all, though, that you find your Paula. Your Paula's out there. And when you find that person, you can become a Paula for someone else. So spread the word. You can be the one. Thank you.
All right.
Awesome job by both of them. Just really incredible and incredible recovery stories. We know that there are a lot of them. All of you have them. Thank you all for being so attentive and patient. There's good stuff happening. We're going to keep it moving. We got some other stuff coming up. In a few minutes, we're going to have solo artists come up and give us a selection. Then we're going to be hearing from our keynoter. Our next speaker now, though, is the newly appointed and empowered director of Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network. He is someone that has been very supportive of the SUD network. He is working with all of us to try to help as many people as we can help. And I'm so glad that he's here today. I think he's about a month being confirmed. I think it's about a month being confirmed in his new role as the CEO of the Detroit Integrated Health Network. Come on, help me give him a warm welcome, Mr. Eric Boyd.
Thank you so much. You know, when I heard that you guys been having this thing for the last 20 years, I asked Ben, I was like, man, I know I like hot dogs, man, but at least you could have given me an invite for the last 20 years. So, but nevertheless, it's awesome to be here. You know, Ben, you put me in a tough spot having to follow folks who've just spoken. You know, it's so amazing that I find myself here on this gorgeous day we have before us. I mean, just think about it. Some 18 months ago, we were not even contemplating being able to sit with each other in this type of setting. So thank God for this opportunity, for sure. And think about it, some 20 years ago, you know, 9/11 totally changed, you know, America, totally changed how we saw each other, totally changed how the world saw us. But look at how we sit here 20 years later. Look at how diverse we are. Look at how we have come together, not for any other purpose, but for each other. That's a big deal for us. You know? So I just want to say this, you know, I don't want to be on the Apollo and get in a hook, so I'm not going to spend too much time up here. But I just want to say this. Every step, every journey that you take begins with a single step. And you must choose to take that step. And on that journey, it is often not easy. Sometimes it is tough. Sometimes, you know, you come across some difficulties. Sometimes you come across some challenges. You know, yesterday I went to my little girl's school to pick her up, and she had a couple of Band-Aids on her knees, both knees. And of course, like any parent, you know, my heart started to figure out, well, why didn't the teacher call me to tell me what happened? But you know, I looked at her and she was still smiling because she realized that those were just scars. And it had nothing to do with how her day had gone because she still had an awesome day. But as we sat in the car and I was driving home, I said to her, hey Grace, what happened? And she said, nothing, Daddy, I just fell and I got up. And I was like, what do you mean you just fell and got up? She's like, well, that's what happens, Daddy. You know, you just fall and you just get up. And I mean, imagine here I am, old and gray, and I'm listening to a 6-year-old telling me how she just fallen and got up. And I thought to myself, wow, how amazing is that? Here I am, you know, thinking that sometimes your days get tough, the journey gets, you know, sometimes unbearable. But you scrape those knees, you have those scars, you put a little peroxide on it, you put a little alcohol, you put a little Band-Aid on it, and you keep pressing forward because the journey is not over. You know? And even as you make that journey and you think the road might be smooth, again you may come across some obstacles, but you don't stop there, you press on. And why do you press on? Because you do it not only for self, you do it for those who are counting on you. You do it for those who are in your corner. So think about this, you know, with all those challenges that you've had, some of those dark moments that you've come across, please note that you've never been alone. You've never been alone. You know, one of the speakers spoke about how her church, you know, was what really drove her and had made those 11 years possible for her. For me, it has been the same, you know, knowing that my God has always been there. So even during those times that I thought that no one was looking out for me, He was always looking out for me. So, you know, unlike the Baptist preacher, I'm not here, you know, to give a long sermon, but I am here to tell you this. Know that what I've been placed to do over at Detroit Wayne, whether it's working with the SUD board, whether it's working with, you know, some incredible providers. I mean, I'm sitting here with Andre and Belle, looking at the audience, that's Dwight and other folks, you know, who've done extraordinary work. Think about it, in the midst of COVID, you all were still able to think of others and not just yourself. You were able to think of others and not just yourself. Think about it. I mean, these 18 months have changed things for us, but we have still made it possible. So thank you for having me here. And to Dr. Ben, you know, I'm making my reservation for the next 20 years, so please no worries whatsoever. I won't eat all the hot dogs, but just make sure that you have me here, and I promise that I will continue to come so that all of this.
So that sounds like we may get some funding for the next 20 years. Did we get that on tape? As I mentioned that, I do want to say that this is being broadcast live on Facebook. It's live on Facebook, so do us a favor and share it. If you find it at the Michigan Celebrate Recovery Facebook page, and you can just share it. Just share this so other people are getting it. We know that many have already shared it, but we still got some good stuff coming. Right now, I want to do two things. First, I'm going to say that we've got a special selection coming from a very gifted psalmist. Pastor David Reed is going to come and give us a selection. And then after him will be what we call our keynote speaker. And I'm going to introduce our keynoter so that I don't have to come back before he gets up. I just want to say that it has been my pleasure to work with this young man, Mr. Andre Johnson. Mr. Andre Johnson, who is the executive director of Detroit Recovery Project. And I was around when it was founded. I was around when he started to work in the network and working with Dr. Trent and Dr. Azabiji is around here. I saw him earlier, and so many of us. I saw Gloria McCausland and of course Dwight, and many of us have this history, and I'm convinced that I have been here long enough, and I'm ready to turn over to some of these young fellas like Andre. When I first started doing this, my hair was totally black. Totally. It was totally. And you see what happened. But anyway, here we are yet, and we are grateful. I am so grateful for this young man because he continues to do incredible work for the recovery community. And we are glad that he's able to be here today. He is certified. He's had academic credentials. I know that he's working on a PhD, and we will be calling him Dr. Andre Johnson before long. Yeah, Dr. Andre Johnson. And so after our psalmist comes, comes, and he's going to come right now and renders this selection, the next voice you will hear will be that of, I almost said Dr. Andre Johnson. But you know, do me a favor, when Andre comes up, I want everybody to stand and let's appreciate him when he comes up, all right? All right, first, Pastor David Reed.
How's everybody doing? Can I say this? You guys look so amazing. Give yourselves a hand. Thank you guys for having me. I'm thankful for the invite to be able to come and celebrate with you all and celebrate you guys today. I wrote a song some time ago. I was going through a really tough time, and I remember driving down the freeway, and I was really beat up at the time, and I kept hearing these words in my head over and over again. And the words were, "It's my turnaround day." And the message that I received from that moment was that all I had to do was make up in my mind, and that today started my turnaround. And from that point, the song was born, and from that point, my life changed literally. So I'm going to sing that song for you. Is that all right with you guys? Yeah. Turn it up just a little bit more. I've seen worse times. I've been down 1,000 times. It's like 1,000,000 times I tried. me that I'm alright. 'Cause in my mind I've made it that I can do whatever it takes. It's my turnaround day. It's my turnaround day. It's my turnaround day. Now the storm is gone. I can rejoice with a song. Like the wind, the pain is gone. And now my tears should not fall. The pain is gone. It doesn't matter if it took too long. Even though a million fall, I'm still gonna stand tall. It's my turnaround day. It's my turnaround day. It's my turnaround day. It's not over yet, so spread your wings and fly. Even if you feel like all you do is cry, just hold your head up high. Success comes when you try. Don't give up, 'cause your time will come. It's your turnaround day. It's turning all around for me because I decided that it's my turnaround day. It's my turnaround day. Thank you all.
Turnaround day. All right. All right. All right.
Come on now. We want to hear y'all downtown Detroit. Celebrating country. Let's thank the artist for singing. Let's give him a round of applause. It's all about turnaround day. I'm filled with emotions today, but I'm going to ask, and I'm going to take a risk to see if we can have a little silence. A little silence with everybody standing and sitting under the tent. I want to have a moment of silence for all of those that's been with us for these 20 years. Can we practice a little silence just for a minute? Can everybody tell somebody next to them we're having a moment of silence? What y'all supposed to do is silently. So, first of all, I want to thank Dr. Ben Jones and Randy O'Brien for their leadership, ensuring that we have this recovery rally mark every year for the last 20 years. That takes commitment and dedication. And I don't know if y'all know what it takes to organize and put these type of things together. We've had an opportunity of spending many times in East Lansing celebrating on the Capitol, which has been a direct result of this marching rally. So I want to just really thank you both from the bottom of my heart. And really, I was with them all along, so I should be a part of the legacy. I also want to thank the entire committee and the team for organizing this event. I know Lauren Stovall played a significant role in following up and contacting everybody. We thank the whole committee, and certainly want to thank everybody on the DIOS and our own Chief Executive Officer of DWIN, Mr. Eric Doyle,
It's a privilege to share the podium with him and his new appointment, being in charge of Detroit Wayne County mental health system. So let's give Mr. Eric Doyle another round of applause. And then for you all who've been with Andre Johnson with the Detroit Recovery Project and this journey for 17 years, I want to take a moment and ask everybody to partake in something. And that's Belle. Everybody who was part of the development of the Detroit Recovery Project, we want to have a moment of silence for everybody who we can think of who was part of it in the very beginning. There was a committee of about 15 of us from the City of Detroit Provider Network that met every month called the Recovery Committee. And so as I think about people, you know, the first person I'm going to say is Alan Bray,
All right.
Calvin Trent, Dwight Ritchie, DJ Bernard. Who am I missing, y'all? Who are we missing? Y'all ain't got no more names?
You got him.
Who? Yell them out.
Annette Williams.
Who?
Annette Williams.
Annette Williams. Okay. We're talking about the people who transitioned. Who was on the committee, Lawrence?
Did that back to top down?
I think a lot of folks got old that can't remember stuff. What you say, Dwight?
Janine McIntosh.
Janine McIntosh. Who else? Who? Denise. Y'all get too old, man. Boy. God bless y'all. All right. Well, y'all know we're going to pray for them. We're going to keep coming. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself for you all who don't know. I'm a person in long-term recovery. And that means I haven't used any drugs or alcohol in over 33 plus years. And if it were not for the recovery process, I certainly wouldn't be able to be a guest speaker to be part of this magnificent Diaz. I want to just say recovery has allowed me to have a more meaningful and purposeful life. I was actually sitting in this chair having some moment of tears, but then those tears turned into joy because I remember when I was walking down East Harper from Parkview to Connors, all the way back from Connors and Harper to Cadillac and Harper, all the way back downtown Detroit after that last Saturday morning of smoking crack all night long on Friday, and the boys was looking to kill me. And I remember walking downtown Detroit saying I can't keep living like this no more. And I need to find something. And I don't know what to do, but a part of me was scared of those boys catching up with me because I had ran off with the dope, and the night before my mother's house got shot up. And then the following Monday, I walked to my probation officer and I told him I needed treatment. And he personally transported me into a treatment center in Higera Alcohol Drug Treatment Center. At the time, it was located in the old Eloise building in Westland, Michigan. I stayed there for 2 weeks, and after spending time there for 2 weeks, my therapist said, you need to go to long-term treatment. I said, okay, because I was willing to do any and everything it took to stay drug and alcohol free. The next step was 120 days inside a share house. And I graduated and completed December 8, 1988, and I went from share house to staying in Mayberry Grand and living in a room with 10 men for 2 years to stay clean and being willing to do whatever it took to, even if that meant being uncomfortable, even if that meant hearing stuff I didn't always want to hear, even if it meant just sharing and showing up. And I prayed and I said the Serenity Prayer every single day, every single night, and I read Acts of Faith, I read 12-step NA book, and I went to 90 meetings in 90 days, and then I made another 90 meetings in 90 days, and I looked up,
I had 6 months clean, and I felt like I was doing something. And I was doing something. I was developing a foundation of staying and living drug and alcohol free. And let me tell you, the more I did that, the more I continued to do those things, the better my life began to transform. The trajectory and the path of my life, growing up and running those cash corridors and running on the east side of Detroit, is no longer a part of my lifestyle. I was able to go to school, obtain a GED after 3 tries, I must tell you, because I didn't study, and I didn't pass the 3rd time until I was disciplined enough to study, because my ego told me, after smoking all that crack and weed, that I was the most intelligent guy in the classroom. However, I was able to obtain my GED, I was able to go to community college, I was able to transfer and get blessed and fortunate to walk the halls and get accepted at Morehouse College. After that, I came back home and said I want to do something to help the city of Detroit. That's going to be what I'm going to do as a result of going to one of the top historic black colleges in the country. Part of the mission was, as a leader, as an educated black man, you have a responsibility to your community. And so part of that, and part of my kindred spirits with the strong ties of the fellowship, I said I'm going to work in this field the rest of my life. Came home, finished my master's degree, got hired at Detroit Health Department, worked under the health department with Dr. Trent for a few years, and finally we began to emerge and develop the Recovery Project. Now, in 17 years, we've had this nonprofit organization that's had an impact on the community. And let me tell you, when we talk about the 20 years, and I was really gratified that Dr. Ben Jones talked about, 20 years ago was 9/11. I mean, my mother on 2004, 9/11, Saturday morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, my 11-year-old brother called me and said, Andre, Mama's dead. And I remember being right over here in the east side of Detroit, driving to my mother's house, fast and slow, and I remember walking into my home, and I could almost smell the death the moment I walked through the door. Now let me tell you, my mother was a registered nurse by trade. She worked for Michigan Department of Corrections for 20 years as a registered nurse in Huron Correctional Valley, and she commuted back and forth from the east side to the prison, working 10-hour shifts. As a result of working overtime, she was involved in a major auto accident. That major auto accident resulted in some very serious leg injuries that led to prescription drugs. And that prescription for pain medication led to abuse, addiction, and death, and overdose death. So I can tell you firsthand, my mother didn't use no drugs or alcohol when I was growing up. She didn't even drink or support any of that kind of stuff. But it can happen to anybody. And at the moment she died on 9/11, I remember saying to myself, even more at that time, how important it's going to be for me to continue to work in this field to try to help others. Amen? So, and then, let me tell you, the journey continues. As I stand here today and think about the many blessings that I've had and the many opportunities that I've been allowed, it's all because of recovery and you guys. Just think, man, 33 years ago, I was towed up from the flow up, and I got a call last week from Washington, D.C., said, Andre, we're introducing your name to be selected to serve on the National Advisory Council for so much diversity, this much love, this much care and concern for one another in one space. Recovery works. That's why we're celebrating recovery. And if I can do it, you can do it. in all of us. And I was happy to hear earlier, many have ways to recovery. It don't matter how you do it. It just matters that you do it. And for all the treatment programs, let me take a moment. I don't know if it's already been done, but let's give it up for all the agencies that's here. Share house. I mean, y'all say shit. All right, so when I call a name, we're gonna play a game called I say celebrate, you say recover. So y'all get it? Celebrate. Share house. Y'all don't get it. Y'all don't listen well. The clinical director, the one started it, the wife said, I had to have one-on-one with her. All right, so, all right, celebrate. Quality behavioral health. Celebrate. We already said that. There you go, son. What? Y'all act like y'all some addicts around here. Can I hear what the folks are saying? Eastwood Clinic! Celebrate! Odyssey House in Flint! Celebrate! It's all part of him, man.
I'm trying to tell it.
Trying to be slick. What you say? Abundance! Where's the abundance at? Celebrate!
Sacred Heart.
Sacred Heart! Celebrate! All right, Jackson, Michigan, Ann Arbor, all them folks celebrate! Macomb County, celebrate! Southeastern Cap, Michigan, Randy O'Brien, celebrate! Ben Jones, celebrate! Ed Dole, celebrate!
Sobriety House.
All right,
Sobriety
I
House.
just wanted to make sure we celebrate. Sobriety House, celebrate! Floyd McCaskill, celebrate! Saginaw, celebrate! The whole state of Michigan recovery community, celebrate! And recover everybody. Thank you all, love you all. Let's celebrate! And let's enjoy this day. All right, I'm going to do something real quickly. Let's give Andre another hand. Dr. Andre Johnson. Yeah. That's what he used to say. He's a product of our community, and we certainly are pleased to see what he has done. I'm going to ask Mr. Dwight Vaughn to come up really quickly. We're going to do something. We're about to wrap this up. Now, let me tell you what's getting ready to happen, so you know. We're getting ready to have a band come up. There's going to be a band that's going to come up, and they're going to perform. I urge you to continue to make sure you collect stuff or visit the places and have some fun, play volleyball, whatever we got going on out here. Make sure you enjoy yourselves. After we do this one thing, I have one other announcement, and then we will close the formal program. We're going to have Mr. Dwight Vaughn to come and do a countdown for us. Good afternoon. Y'all look so good out there. Can you hear me? Can we be quiet for a minute? Because this is really important. Okay? My name is Dwight Vaughn, and I am the CEO of Share House. More important, I'm also a birth of long-term recovery. And what that means for me is I haven't used any drugs in 37 years. What that means for me also is being in recovery, in long-term recovery for this long, is that I'm old. What this means is that my grown adult kids
and my grandkids know nothing about my ever being anything different than what I am right now, and that is clean. What we're about to do is Clean Time Countdown. This sobriety countdown is not about just time, but time is important. I want you to reflect on a couple of things. One is the intensity of what's happened in your life over the time you've been clean. I want you to look at the quality of your life and those around you and how it's changed since you've been clean. Because we affect other people. The change that happened to you will happen to you and others around you as you stay clean. So I thought about this. I said, where do I start? I'm going to start kind of high. Not high like that. But I'm going to start high at 50 years. Anybody here been clean and sober for 50 years? 49 years. 48 years. 47 years. 46 years. 45 years. 44. 43 years. I don't know whether I know people. 42 years. Anybody been clean this around for 41 years? 41 years. 40 years. 39 years. 39 years. 39. Yes. How about 38 years? 37 years. 36 years. That's my clinical director in Share House. Yeah, great lady. 35 years. I'm getting old. 34 years. 33 years. 32 years. 30 years. Those were the crack epidemics. Everybody came in called a crack around that time. Couldn't take it no more. 29 years. 28. 27. 26. 25. That's a quarter of a century. 24 years. 23. 22. 21. 20 years. Anybody got 2 decades? 19 years. 18. 17 years. 16 years. 15 years. 14. 13. 12. 11 years. 10 years. 9.
That's a long time, Joe.
years. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. I'm gonna break it down a little bit more. 23 months. 22 months. 21 months. 19 months. 18 months. Now it's important. 17 months. 16 months. 15 months. 14 months. 13 months. 1 year. We got 1 year. 11 months. 10 months. 9. 8. 7. 6 months clean. 5 months clean. 4 months clean. 90 days, 3 months clean. 60 days, 2 months clean. 30 days. Remember that 30 days? Remember how you said that 30 days? How about 29 days? 28 days. 27 days. 26 days. You guys miracles. 25 days. Y'all remember back then? 24 days. 23 days. 22 days. 21. 20 days. 19 days. 18 days. 17 days. 16 days. 15 days. 14 days. 14 days, yeah. 13 days. 12 days. 11 days. 10 days. 9 days. 8 days. 1 week, which is 7 days. 6 days. 5 days clean. 4 days clean. 3 days clean. 2 days clean. That's why we here. 1 day clean. Just for the day. Give it to the You are why we do what we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Dwight. So, we celebrate everybody that have any clean time at all. If you got a few hours, it's to be celebrated. One of the things that we wanted to do as a planning committee was to commemorate the 20th anniversary of this event. And for those people that have 20 years or more, you've already identified yourself. We've pretty much counted. But for those of you that have 20 years or more, if you go over to that welcome center, you can get one of these hats. It's a commemorative hat. It's a commemorative baseball cap. For those people with 20 years or more, right over there in that tent, 20. Now all of a sudden, don't be having no time. Don't be having no time till you recover. Don't be all of a sudden get 20 years. Don't work like that. You got to do the work. You got to do the work. So we know it was only a few people that was plus 20. 20 and over. All right. So I want to thank everybody. All of you have been very, very attentive. Now we're into our real entertainment section. We got a band that's coming up. We got some folks that can give us spoken word. Please enjoy the music. Enjoy the band and enjoy the spoken word and all the friends and fellowship. Let's give our speakers a hand, another hand. All of the speakers have done an awesome job. Yes, thank all of you. Now, as MC, I'm gonna go give me a hot dog.
All right, we want to encourage you to have fun. We have photo booth over to my left. We have food in the back. We have different games, volleyball, Jenga, Connect 4, cornhole, so enjoy all of that. We're going to have music in a moment. I am going to have a representative from the Phoenix Detroit to come up and share what they have going on in our health and wellness tent.
What's up, brother? You all right?
How y'all doing? Y'all all right? Y'all feeling good? Make some noise for recovery one time. Yeah. I ain't gonna hold you too long. My name is Bryce, and I'm with the Phoenix Detroit. We're over there in the health and wellness tent. And what we're doing is we're creating sober, active communities. So how many of y'all done broke a sweat before? And how do it feel when you break a sweat? Do it feel a little bit better when you break a sweat? Like it feels like a little, you know? So when we break a sweat, like I found that it's very impactful to recovery to have different things that we add to our recovery, different tools to add to our recovery. So what we do is we get active. All of our programs are free to anybody with 48 hours of sobriety, and we do things like kayaking, rock climbing, hikes, biking. All that is free for anybody with 48 hours of sobriety. I heard a TED Talk recently that said the opposite of addiction isn't sobriety. The opposite of addiction is human connection and community. And what I see here is we got a lot of community here today. And the stuff that we offer over there is just another tool for your community, the other communities for you to tap into. So what we're going to do before we get up out of here today is you can come see us in the tent over there. And we're going to do some live yoga. We're going to do some live meditation over there if y'all like to come join us and come kick it with us. So thank you for allowing us to be in addition to what y'all got going on here. Make some noise for yourselves and for recovery one time. Oh, y'all got to be louder than that. I said make some noise for yourselves and recovery one time. Yeah, come see us. We're the Phoenix over there in the tent over there. Thank you.
Enough of all that.